Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Student of the Game. I am Kyle Nash, the Student of the Game, and here with me in studio, Weasel, yeah, boy, Steven Weasel Hurley, the personality of the show, ready to bring it to you, and of course, your local hero. He is a hero because he is a firefighter extraordinaire. Can't always be in the studio, but he darn sure managed to find his way to come in from the station, Sumter County's own Mr. Chris Rankin. Chris, what's good, my man?
Hey, it's got pretty good. Just trying to make that little extra holiday cash.
No doubt, trying to keep those natural disasters in check. What better way to get paid, right? I mean,
exactly.
Well, there's better ways to get paid. I suppose, like, you know, being an ice cream taste tester is a better way to get paid, maybe. Whatever. The point is this, natural disasters on lock by way of your local hero. I'm just trying to tell you. You know, guys, I was sitting with a good friend of the show and former Student of the Game panelist, Mr. Chris Rizzo, the secret agent of sports. And he hit me with a pop quiz that I was able to answer, but I want to drop this on y'all just to see if you could come up with it. Can you guys name me the only quarterback to start for two different teams this season?
Brandon Weeden?
He did not start. That's where I almost went myself. I'll give you a clue. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm trying to think who it was.
I'll give you a clue. If he's on the field, your team is probably in a pickle.
No.
The answer is Jimmy Clausen.
Ah, okay.
Clausen, remember, starting for Jay Cutler. I think it was week 2 or 3 for your Chicago Bears. Now also starting for the Baltimore Ravens. And by the way, I mentioned that if your team is starting him, you're probably in a pickle, and both teams indeed were at that time. It's not just a cheesy metaphor or whatever. Point is this. Hey, good times here on NGSC Sports, of course, where we are doing our thing here on the Student of the Game. We never stop. And I got to say, guys, I'll go through it as I go along, but I predicted a lot of things in the matchup mania that went down. Not that I'm usually way off. I'm not trying to predict things, but it went well this week, and I'll point them out as we go. But let's get a couple things rolling here. Yeah, Thursday night, this could have been a game that had a lot of hope for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No matter how little hope Chris had for them. Give me Bucs Rams, Chris.
And 2 weeks ago, the Rams fired their offensive coordinator, and for the second week in a row, the Rams come away with a victory, this time beating the Bucs 31-23. As I called it last week, the Bucs now have no chance of making the playoffs, and we can count both of these teams out with a 6-8 record.
Yeah,
it's like I said, with the Bucs last week. There's no way they're going to win out in order to make the playoffs.
Well, we went over their schedule too, and this was one of the ones they were supposed to take care of, and then oh boy, that went all straight to Hades. It was unfortunate, but yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, the Rams jumped out to an early lead and did enough to hold on at the end to preserve the win. Case Keenum got the start again for the Rams, and he was 14 for 17 for 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston was off all night, only completing 29 for 50 for a career high, 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, an INT, and lost a fumble. Most of those yards came in the third and fourth quarter. On the ground, it was veteran Doug Martin having the upper hand than rookie Todd Gurley, as Martin rushed for 91 yards on 18 carries, and Gurley finished at 21 for 48 with a touchdown. Gurley also had 31 receiving yards. Through the air, Kenny Britt had 2 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. Tavon Austin took a screen pass in for a touchdown for the Rams. Mike Evans had 157, and Austin, Safarian Jenkins, and Luke Stalker each had a touchdown for the Bucs. Difference in the game was 2 for the Bucs and none for the Rams. But really, Case Keenum this year is 2-1 on the season. The only loss he had was that concussion against the Ravens that he should have came out. Someone should have called him out. He could have been really 3-0 because they were winning the game at that time. Is he the quarterback for the Rams?
Well, I mean, so look, you heard me say it 2 years ago. I think he should have started for the Texans at the beginning of 2013, and he did not. And all that's going so well for the Texans. I'll put it this way. And you guys are paying more attention to the college ranks than I am. I mean, Weasel, Chris, are either of you impressed at all by any college quarterbacks out there? I mean, I know a lot of guys are going after this Hackenberg kid who I'm not really impressed by. And basically, my go-to within the Student of the Game panel is, of course, the secret agent of sports, Chris Rizzo, he's completely unimpressed by Hackenberg. So, I mean, do you guys, I know Coker out of Alabama isn't impressing anybody. Is there a single quarterback, honestly, who you see that can take a franchise right from the get-go in this current college class? I don't see a Weasel.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not right now. Usually when it gets up to like the East-West game, and it'll shine a little bit more light on it, but for now, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, there'll at least be more hype surrounding it. I don't know that it'll be legitimate. But, yeah, you're right. That information tends to start to blossom a little bit more for the mainstream around the East-West Shrine game, which NGSC Sports will be at by way of former student of the game panelist, Mr. Andrew Glukove. So look out for that in late January. Booyah. Chris, what about you? No college quarterbacks really worth mentioning, right?
The one that would come to my mind first would be Connor Cook, the quarterback for Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
What he's done, I mean, he hasn't been like knockout ones, but I mean, he's one that once his shoulder's healthy, I mean, he'd be one of the ones I would be thinking of right off the bat because he's had the most success so far at Michigan State. I mean, I think he's only lost 8 wins the 4 years he's there, 7 losses.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there, so he'd be one of them that I would think up. That's right off the top of my head. Anyone else? I'd have to look at the list. I can tell you, so that would be no.
Yeah, not really impressed by anybody. And for all intents and purposes, I mean, Cook would have to fall to the Rams with all the bad football we've seen all over the place, including, of course, involving the 49ers. Just throwing that out there. So, yeah, there you go. 2 teams clinging to life in their respective playoff races, or I say respective conferences. Jets and Cowboys. Chris.
The Jets had to come from behind to kick a last-minute field goal to beat the Cowboys 19-16 to keep their playoffs alive. As for the Cowboys, their playoff hopes are done as they fall to 4-10 on the season. The Jets often struggled in the game against the Cowboys defense, but it was the Jets defense winning the game. Matt Cassell got the start for the Cowboys, but after throwing a red zone INT and taking a 19-yard sack, he was benched, and in came ex-Boise State QB Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore would drive, he controlled the offense down the field, completing 15 for 25 for 158, a touchdown to Dez Bryant, but he threw 3 INTs. His third one would be a last play for the Cowboys as he forced the ball down the field to Dez Bryant in triple coverage, and every starter of the Jets secondary came away with an INT in the game.
Wow. Okay, that's particularly awful. I'm going to throw that out there. Of course, the Cowboys are still the worst team in the conference. There's that. I got nothing. The thing I was curious about, and when you were talking about it, I got to find my note here. You were, when it comes to the Cowboys, they were supposed to go from the worst in the conference at one point, and supposed to be A-OK when Tony Romo came back, and that didn't happen. I mean, were we just right all this time that Matt Castle wasn't the answer? I mean, yeah, that's an obvious question, but we all kind of felt like Brandon Whedon was a better choice even earlier in the season, right?
Yeah, there was another team that thought so, too.
Ah.
We'll be calling that later.
I like that teaser. Look out, audience, more to come. Boom.
But anyway, with this game, I mean, Fitzpatrick, had a decent day. I mean, 26 for 39 for 299 yards with a touchdown and INT. McFadden on the ground had 100 yards. Dez Bryant had 50 for the Cowboys. Brandon Marshall had 74 on 4 catches. Eric Decker had 6 for 55 with a touchdown. And Bilal Powell had 54 receiving yards and 25 on the ground with a 12-yard touchdown run for the Jets. So, Kyle, cue the music.
Uh-oh. Snap, I wasn't ready for this. I missed this.
Randy Bullock started this season with the Texans and was cut because of all the extra points and field goals he missed. He was brought on by the Jets to replace injured Nick Folk. Randy Bullock missed an extra point in the first quarter and also missed a 45-yard field goal right before half.
Leaving Jets fans asking, what the folk were you thinking? Thank you.
So The difference in the game really was the turnovers, 1 for the Jets, 4 for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How about the Cowboys season? I mean, they were number 1 in the NFC East last year. They're last now with 4-10 because of Tony Romo's injuries.
Yeah.
Do you think Jason Garrett will get a pass on this, or do you think Jerry Jones will man up and finally fire him what he should have done like 3 years ago?
Can the answer to both of those questions be yes? Because that's what I think is going to happen. No, let me rephrase. No, Jason Garrett won't get a pass. Oh, he'll get blamed for plenty. But he's not going to get fired. Remember, guys, and this is, and look, I'm not the first guy in the world to come up with this, but it doesn't seem to me like Jerry Jones has interest in bringing a strong personality into the franchise. I don't know if he had a bad experience when Bill Parcells was there. I don't claim to know all that. But I think I'm speculating that Jerry Jones realizes that he needs a coach that's willing to kind of, I hate to put it this way, but do his bidding, so to speak, so that there's no conflict. Basically, it's the same mistake that Jed York made in San Francisco when he fired Jim Harbaugh. That's where I said it. But the point I want to make, too, even beyond that, Chris, is if you're a Cowboys fan, how much more ticked off are you about the Dez Bryant catch from the playoffs back in January for last season? That Dez Bryant play where he took 80 bazillion steps and it's still an incompletion, right? Weasel, I saw Weasel biting his lip. He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty weak sauce," you know. And if you're a Cowboys fan, this whole season, watching the window get slammed shut because Romo couldn't play has got to be excruciating. Now, Chris is dancing in the street because Giants loyalty, but you know, if you happen to be one who pervades Jerry's world, this entire season is a big, what is the word? Just a big tragedy. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, man. Tony Romo, pop quiz, guys. Number of years Tony Romo still has in the tank, Weasel?
Yeah, I would say about 2 years.
2 years? Okay, Chris.
Yeah, I'd say 1 to 2 years, but collarbones left in the tank, I'd say none.
I'd say that the Cowboys are maybe this year or at least the second year. They got to find a quarterback of the future. But if Tony can play him.
Yeah, no, inevitably. I mean, I wouldn't even try to play him anymore in the remainder of this season. I'd just start already the rehab process. But I'm with you. If I'm Vegas, I'm setting the over and under for years left in Tony Romo's professional life as a football player at 2.5. If I'm taking bets on it, but I would take the under because I would say 2, just like Weasel did. And actually, you said that too. Unanimous. That's what I'm getting at. By the way, you want to know what else is unanimous? Who would win this game? The Chiefs take on the Ravens, who found themselves in a pickle, starting Jimmy Clausen. Ways.
The Chiefs on the road kept their playoff hopes alive with their 34-14 crushing of the Ravens.
Crushing.
Chiefs quarterback Alex Smith was 21 of 25, 171 yards with a touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. Chiefs running back Charkandrick West, 16 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Wide receivers are getting touchdown passes this year for the Chiefs. I think
they're at 6.
It made a little bit difference, I think, for him this year. Good pickup for him was Jeremy Maclin, 7 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Ravens quarterback Jimmy Clausen, 26 of 45, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs. In the mid-fourth quarter, Clausen threw a pick 6 that was returned 90 yards for a touchdown by one cornerback, Marcus Peters.
If I called it a pickle 6, is that too much?
It's pushing it, but
he'll let it go. Okay.
Yeah.
Girl.
Clausen was sacked twice. Ravens rookie running back Javarius Allen.
Buck Allen, for those who don't want to perform.
Yes,
yeah.
Buck. 4 rushes for 18 yards, though in the mid-first quarter he lost a fumble that was returned 73 yards for a touchdown by Chiefs defensive back Tyvon Branch. Ravens wide receiver Kamar Aiken, former UCF Knight, had 8 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown. It sucks that the wide receiver For the Knights, that was the first round. It was the
That was
first round
Brashard
pick.
Perriman.